how to set up your defense for GVG success. This is a continuation in the series of how to GVG, a GVG overview, and now we're going to set up our defenses. When you're starting out to set up your defense, you can either start with your powerhouse. This is who you know you're going to bring, or you can do what I do. I like to start with my Lord first. Your Lord is probably your most important part of your GVG team. So we like to start with our Lord. This way we can filter out the rest of our teams. Depending on your roster size, it's going to be easy or it's going to be hard, because the combinations of GVG setups are almost endless. Alright, so after we have our Lord, always go with your healer next, in my opinion. And we build from there. Now we'll go look for our healer, right? It's just easier to filter everything out if you do it like in steps. And for most team comps, you're going to be bringing similar units. You're either going to bring a tank, you have to bring a healer, you have to bring DPS. So the top 3 healers in GVG, Lily, Carnelian, Tallulah. I could throw Ezreal in here too. Other than that, yeah, go ahead, bring in Eloin, bring in your Vortex. But if you have any of those 3, figure out a way to use them because they are great in GVG. So after you found your healer, filter your search for your DPS unit. So my top tier DPS unit that I'm going to be running on a Nightmare comp with Torador has the Lord is going to be Sun Wukong. He's going to be my ground unit, provide a little extra block, and he's going to be one of my top DPS units that I'm going to use. Since we had a ground unit, now we need to have a platform unit, or we should have a platform unit to help with those pesky air units, right? So I'm going to bring in Hotset. There are other options, even for a Nightmare comp, right? So if you don't have Hotset, you could throw in Maul in an attack build, right? Skyrocket his attack, make him kind of speedy, and he'll do a good job. Maul for the win. Other options, you could throw in Yuri. Yuri is a good option, especially on a Nightmare comp. If you got Ajax, throw in Ajax. However, think about it like this. As long as you have a tank, a ground unit, a platform unit, and a healer, you have wiggle room for your last unit. So for your last unit, what I would suggest, I always try to, if I can, a crowd control unit. So this could be Greed, this could be Maul, this could be Mari, people with CC effects, crowd control. So this can either be slows, freezes, stuns, all that good stuff, right? Provide more time for your units to do enough damage to take out the demon soldiers. Other good mentions, AI. We also have Dahlia, but she won't hit air units. So you got to remember that. However, for my choice, since I have my platform unit and my fighter, I'm going to pick Ajax. He does have some stuns and some slows in his kit, and he provides magic-based attack. And I don't really have too much magic-based attack going on, so if they use certain demon soldiers like the Fallen Templar, then I'm going to be kind of a sitting duck. It's going to be kind of hard to take them out. However, Sun Wukong can't handle that. But for me, I like to cover most of my bases, so I would like some magic attack in my team. So Ajax is a good choice for me, and he can fit into any other faction, so he's a really good choice. So this makes it a lot easier for me to get more Lord bonuses because I have more faction members in my team comp. So going through our checklist for setting up our defenses, we have our tank, we have our ground unit, we have our healer, and we have a platform unit to attack air units. So for the last spot, like I was saying, that could be your crowd control unit, or you could have like another DPS unit, another platform unit, or this can be another fighter, depending on how you want your team set up. You have extra wiggle room for your crowd control unit. However, you can start thinking, does my team have too much magic damage? Is it all magic based? Is it all physical damage? So you do want to have some variety if you can, so that way one unit can't just terrorize your team. One unit can't just hold off the whole front line, hold off all your attacks. So when you first come in, start with your tank. Where do you want your tank positioned? And then you build around it from there. I want my fighter to at least assist when the tank starts getting attacked, right? So this is a good choice. If I put him too far back, or if I face him the other way, he's not going to be in attack range to assist the tank when the mobs start coming in, and they'll just kind of stack on top of him. You have more variation in your positioning depending on the range of the fighter. Alright, now that we have our tank down and our fighter down, we'll move on to the healer. And guys, I will also be doing position layouts in all 3 different main spots. So I'll do one in the middle, then I'll do one in the front, and do one in the back, and I'll decide what my final team will look like at the end. Alright, so for your healer, you do want them to have some kind of coverage, at least on your tank and your fighter, because they are always going to be on their front line. Your platform units may or may not need healing, So I do like to do my healer first, and then I'll go with one of my platform units. So I could put Ajax here, but I'm going to place Hotsit first because this looks like a spot that I would put Hotsit in, mainly because I'm more focused on getting her laid down so that way she can take care of flying units. So you could place her anywhere, but remember, you don't want your team too far spaced out and you don't want them too close together. This is a good coverage spot because she can't really get hit right away and she doesn't need healing from Lily in this position. Now, Ajax, our crowd control unit and magic dealer. So we're going to place him 9 times out of 10 in one of these 2 spots. This spot provides a lot of coverage. It does provide 4 tiles that we can attack on. But if we face it this way, obviously, he gets less tiles. He only gets 3. So if I'm going to use Ajax, then I'll put him next to Lily. And actually, I would probably swap Lily and Ajax, positioning like their tiles. So that way Ajax has more coverage and more tiles. Look how many more tiles that he has to attack for. He has 6 extra tiles instead of 4 and instead of 3. However, the issue here is now Ajax is in a position to get hit by Garnet Guards or get sniped out, right? So he is going to have some kind of coverage from Lily. So we can either put Lily here or we can put Lily here. This way it provides coverage to everybody. Even in case Hotsit does get hit, then at least Lily can still protect her, just in case somebody flies over and tries to snipe her out. Alright, so this position looks really nice. We have coverage on everybody from Lily, our healer. We do have Ajax in the most offensive range that he can have. We have Hotsit protecting us from air units, and she has attack range on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tiles. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pick everybody up and we're going to move them in the back, and then I'll also do one in the front. But I do like this middle position for this Nightmare team and the units that I have brought with me, and they are able to complement that position well. Other units might not be able to complement that position. So start off with our tank. We'll put it in our furthest up tile, Ajax. Now where are we going to put Ajax in this back corner? Him and Hotsit are going to be kind of tricky. However, I'll put Sun Wukong down. You could place him right behind your tank to provide some coverage, or you can place him back just in case, if you're scared of mages getting sniped out. You can place him here because he does have 2 tile range, but he won't be able to hit in front of Torador in this position. We'll leave him here for now, but I'll come back and I'll swap him forward because I don't like my fighter being too far away from my tank, for me at least. So Hotsit, this is tricky, like I was saying, back here in these positions, because you do want Lily to be able to cover your units, but you also don't want your units to be kind of too far back where they can't attack. So Lily, she would probably go here. Ajax, he'll go here. That way he can reach in front of Torador. Now Hotsit, see, Hotsit really can't provide any damage unless I move Torador back. But if I move Torador back, that opens up Ajax for Garnet Guards and mages to hit Sun Wukong. So if that's the case, then you might as well just move Sun Wukong up, right? And honestly, I should probably swap Ajax and Hotsit, and then I would just move everybody back if I'm going to use this back line, but I'm not. I don't really care for it too much because it provides too much time to build up a swarm, and also I necessarily don't have the AoE damage to deal with a huge swarm, right? Ingrid! All right, so let's test the front position. The front position is probably the best position. You can either place Ajax here or your Hotsit here on this tile, or you can place Ajax here because he does have a lot of range right here, but he won't be able to hit in front of Torador. So some other positions, at least for Ajax, could be placing him right here. But this is also a really good spot for Hotsit to be in because she can kind of catch flyers that go by. Lily will just place her down real quick. So if we place her here, she'll only be able to heal the 3 units that's up here, right? So if I place Hotsit here, she won't be able to hit any of the flyers or anything like that with her ultimate because it only kind of expands out to her sides. So if you put her here, don't face it that way, don't face it that way, then she won't be able to provide any coverage if you place her on any of these tiles. I do be seeing people place, units on weird tiles, y'all. Like if their attack range can't reach, then don't place them there, right? So Ajax and Hotsit, these are probably the 2 spots that I would use if I'm going to set up my team up front. Lily I would keep here just because Garnet Guards, when they come out, they'll attack Lily first, and then if you build her with some HP, 9 times out of 10 she'll survive that hit. All right, let's try another variation of the front line. But like I was saying, Ajax and Hotsit, they're interchangeable. It's just up to you. All right, so on this map, right, I see a lot of people place their tank right here in this position where Torador is, and that's okay, but you have to have a very specific strategy. And it's fine if you want to play Sun Wukong a little back, because his ultimate does expand out. He'll at least be able to do some damage, and he's not going to get blasted by mages. So for your healer in this position, what I would do, if this is your strategy, is to place Lily behind Torador, so that when mages come through, at least she'll probably survive if you build her with some HP. Hot sit, like I said, if you put her right there, she's not going to really be able to use her ultimate effectively. And then this is where Ajax would go, because now he can hit in front of Torador, but we're not getting that much damage. All these tiles that we're losing out on, the only one that has a massive amount of reach would be Ajax, but Hotsit's not making very good use of her ultimate when she's placed down that far. If you're going to set up your Hotsit or your DPS unit up in the front, then that's a position that you want to use. You have more tile range, but she's very vulnerable to Garnet Guards in that position, and archers actually, I think. However, this is why I always say move your tank up if you're going to use that front area. That way, at least the Garnet Guards, when they come out, they only get like one shot on Hotsit, and then they'll start targeting your tank. But in this position, Ajax can't hit in front of Torador. So we're not making use of our tile space in the best position that we can. There are other variations in the front that you can do, but with this team that I brought with me, it's not going to work very well. You need like Valkyria, long range, stuff like that. I do like the middle spot, at least for this Nightmare comp, right? Torador, he's going to be placed down in front. Ajax, he's actually going to go right here next to Lily. Lily will provide coverage to everybody. Ajax, I will build him with a little bit of HP, but we also have some insurance because Lily does provide that unyielding, or at least that extra life, right? She saves one of the units. Hotsit, my platform DPS, should be able to handle any air units that come by that's able to sneak by Ajax. Sun Wukong, he's there for just damage on the ground units, and he can obliterate almost any. This is my other team that I'm using. I'm not going to walk through it. I might start doing these more towards the beginning of Season 8, since we're already halfway through Season 7. It's about to end at the end of this month. If you guys liked it, I'll do my team for Season 8, and then I'll also give like some ideas, some suggestions for other GVG defenses when the season changes. And if you guys like this, give me a comment. That way I know to keep doing this stuff, right? All right, appreciate your time, y'all. Omnikai out.